I mean, first of all, I would say let's not assume that we know what's coming because
Okay.
things keep changing drastically in very short order.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think we have seen the dust settle yet
Mm-hmm.
for everything that's happening in this country or in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Things tend to shift very rapidly now, and I think we're going to see a lot more of that
Mm-hmm.
happening, a lot of really unexpected rapid shifts. I would, in terms of certain things that have to do with this country, I would turn people over to what Bashar said in one of his latest transmissions, which was called Echoes of Sedona, where he kind
Mm-hmm.
of explains a lot about what he said in Sedona. And I don't want to paraphrase him because what he said in the Echoes of Sedona transmission is very specific in terms of the way he explained things. So I would just basically overall turn people onto that transmission to
Mm-hmm.
answer certain questions. But I
Okay.
do think in 2025, I mean, again, he has always said for a while now that we are going to have open contact within the next 5 years. So we're definitely starting to be within that window now
Mm-hmm.
where, we might start seeing more UFOs. We might start hearing about more disclosure events that have to do with Congress and government and all sorts of things. So I think bit by bit, we're going to be exposed to more information and more events that have to do with disclosure or open contact. And that's going to accelerate, I think, through 25 and 26. So things like that are coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Is there anything? It seems like there's a lot of dirty laundry is coming up, or a lot of the dirt and the muck that was hidden is starting to bubble up to the surface. Like, I off the top of my head, just the P Diddy arrest in Hollywood, and what the ripples of that thing is going
yeah.
to do through that industry, which you and
Well,
I are both were part of.
sure. Yeah. Well, I mean, I'll give you just a tiny preview with a title. The next transmission that Bashar is going to give for January is titled No More Secrets. So he's going to be talking about the impact of holding on to what he calls consequential secrets, and how those things need to really be let go of, and people need to stop doing whatever it is that would be considered a secret that would have consequences far beyond themselves that might impact other people in negative ways or, things like that. So, because it's like it's all about sort of stripping away all the things that would cause our vibration to be lower than it could be, and holding on to certain consequential secrets keeps us in a state that is not conducive to open contact. So he's going to, I think, be explaining the idea of we need to like stop doing the behaviors that we have been keeping secret for any reason whatsoever that would have some sort of consequence or impact on those around us, in order to really move forward in a more streamlined way. I mean, this kind of goes back to what he had talked about a few years ago that he called the eye of the needle, where we really have to let go of all of the things that are really not in alignment with our true vibration so that we can fit through the very narrow aperture cleanly as possible that represents the window, the small window of vibrational resonance that is conducive to moving forward in a positive way and having open contact and allowing the formula that he shares with us to work more efficiently. Because when we hold on to things that are contrary to that vibration, it makes it that much harder for the things that he's sharing with us to work. So coming up, I think it's about divesting ourselves in our lives of things that we're holding on to that really keep our vibration low and or lower than it could be, and just stripping them all away and being our true natural selves so we can accelerate forward for things like open contact and also just making our world a more balanced place.
So what you're saying is, or what Bashar is saying is that the secrets that we hold actually hold our vibrations lower and down. Obviously, the kind of secrets we're talking about, like
Yeah.
the organizational secrets, government secrets, religious secrets.
Personal secrets that are impactful to other. In other words, he's not saying, you can't, he's not talking about the kind of secrets where we're not telling someone that we're arranging a surprise birthday party for them. He's
No, no, no,
obviously,
no, no, no. I'm talking traumatic secrets of things that are obviously at a very low vibration. So on a
right,
macro level, it would be governments, it would be organizations, it would be companies, it'd
right,
be industries. On a personal level as well, holding on
right,
to deep secrets or holding on to deep trauma that
right.
kind of is holding us down at that vibration, that frequency. Letting
Yes,
go of that is when we could start to rise and
yes,
raise our frequency and vibration.
right. So no more secrets. Yeah.
No more. So basically, no more secrets. So is that why and since I came into this space about 3 years ago. So you've been in this space for a long time, in the spiritual space, in the consciousness space. You've seen this kind of happen.
Mhm.
What was the pivotal year that you actually saw? Was it 2012? Was it 2000? Was there a year that just like, oh, things are starting to pick up? I've heard 2016. I've heard
Well, yeah,
2012.
absolutely. Absolutely 2012, absolutely 2016. And I would say 2020. We're getting kind of bumps every 4 years in a certain
Oh,
way.
oh God,
Uh,
this is our fourth year again.
exactly. And therefore all these things are starting to accelerate.
Yeah,
So yeah, and that's why again, in the next 4 or 5 years, we're going to get a huge bump of introduction to extraterrestrials and all sorts of things going on that have been going on for a while behind the scenes. And it's time for a lot of that to come out. And in addition to the idea of no more secrets, right? So even the revelation of the existence of extraterrestrials is a big one. No more
yeah.
secrets. Now we have to
Let me
deal with the effect of all that.
let me ask you. There was something I was listening to a physicist the other day, and he said something that was really interesting. I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. That we have been around as a species for a very, very, very short amount of time.
Mhm.
Um, very short amount of time. Even if let's say we take into consideration the yuga cycles and that we've come and gone and we've been elevated and we've been down and as far as our consciousnesses are concerned, and every
Sure.
10,000, 12,000 years we get kind of reset like we did with Atlantis and so on. Let's just say that for
Right.
argument's sake. So we've been around for 200,000, 250,000 years. Let's say, give
Maybe.
or take, maybe longer, maybe less, give or
Yeah.
take.
I mean, and depends on where you draw the line as to, what is Homo sapiens, what is, Homo
Yeah,
erectus, all that kind of
right.
stuff.
Um, and
Generously, let's say a million years, but that's still short
generously,
logically history.
yeah. And then the dinosaurs were around for 200 or 300 million
In years.
years.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they were pumping along really quickly, and during that time, they never evolved
Well, they
to
did.
no, no, to us. I mean, to a
Oh,
point
to
of
us.
our technology.
No.
No, at least I don't think so. That would be a super cool cartoon from the 1980s if it was. Um, I'm sure there was some sort of dino riders. I remember something along those lines. Intelligent
Yeah.
dinosaurs.
Actually, a friend of mine created that series.
Oh, really good. I remember there was something like that in the back of my
Yeah.
head. Teenage Mutant Ninja Dinosaurs. Uh, that's a free one. Anyone could take that if they want to go and make it right now. Go for it. But so there was all that time. But what they said was like the chance. He said something very clear, and he comes from a scientific, not a spiritual point of view. He's like, on a logical standpoint, there is how many universes out there in the watchable in the visual what we can actually see, and which is about 3% of they say
Yeah.
3%
Yeah.
of the actual whatever we can actually perceive. In that small amount, there is billions and billions of universes like ours. Within those, there's probably hundreds of millions of Earth-like
Mhm.
planets if to create life. Like he said,
Sure.
but the thing is this, that if there was an evolution like in Bashar's situation, right? He is a little bit ahead of us, or maybe a
Yes.
far ahead of us as far as evolutionarily speaking.
A few
Um,
thousand,
how many years?
about 3,000 years.
So that's nothing. That's really not a whole lot of time in the scope of the
No.
universe.
No, but
So
again,
that's
remember, they're an artificial species, so they had a head start, but nevertheless.
To watch the full video, click on the link below. And don't forget to subscribe.